I just missed the end of the song. Okay, so looking at Shotgun King on the Steam Deck, it is compatible. It's verified. All functionality is accessible when using the default controller configuration. In-game text interface is legible. Default graphics performs well. So yeah, that Shotgun King will work. But we're moving on to the Iron Oath here, so give me a second. I thought somebody said the Iron Oath might be difficult. Oh well. Let me swap over to this. Let me start it. You can rage? Yeah, yes, I can rage on the go. I can rage anywhere I want. It's less rage from me and more like disappointment that I didn't see the obvious. So this is done by Curious Panda and Humble, apparently. So you know. Feature request. Resolution, yeah. 60 screen shake. Let's see. Audio, sure. Controls, other. Dialogue text size default. 100% speed. Don't do large. Violent deaths on. Tutorial on. Combat speed 100. Pan to player on turn enabled. Okay. Camera speed. Require window focus. Okay. Your company name. Geromes, except my cap lock was on. Geromes. Dust on the microphone. Your title. Sure, I'll take sir. Oh, I look like a gear. Oh no, come back. Flags. Oh, I see. Is there white? Yeah. There we go. This is green? Oh, it's green. Choose difficulty. Battle hardened for seasoned veterans of turn-based tactical RPG. If you're looking for a challenging gameplay experience, then start here. Expect tougher encounters and harsher penalties. I guess adventure. Those new to Iron Oath, a turn-based RPG. Good place to start if it's your first campaign. While still a challenge, there'll be more opportunities to recover from a few setbacks. 1,500 gold. Enemies that have less HP. Fewer enemies that have less HP. And in dungeon, new time mods every 20 seconds. Okay. I know nothing about this game, by the way. Like most of these games going in. In an era all but forgotten, the gods once lived alongside humanity in the heart of the Kalem. However, an unknown cataclysmic event plunged the world into a dark age. History was lost to time, and so too were the gods. In their absence, a rebuilding humanity was left to contend with the emergence of a great being of darkness from the void. Every few decades, in an event called the Scourge, the dragon's arrival would bring death and disease to the land. Those affected by the dragon's blight would lose their minds and bodies as they slowly became abominations of flesh and outcasts to society, known as the Blighted. Despite centuries of effort from the Vanguard Order, the realm's greatest heroes, no lasting victory against the dragon. Oh, and the realm's greatest heroes, no lasting victory against the dragon could be achieved. Humanity has now come to accept the inevitability of the Scourge as part of life, enduring, or in some cases thriving despite it. With whispers of an impending Scourge circulating, you and your company find yourselves in a brutal crypt not far from the city of Adelon. A simple retrieval of smuggled supplies. Or, at least that's what your employer had promised. Loading. This is version 0.5.1.49. Uric. Damned grave robbers, stay sharp. No doubt his companions will have heard that. Everyone stands still, tensions rising as they grip their weapons tight and scan the room for further hostiles. You hear a muffled shout from somewhere in an adjacent corridor, likely directed towards their now deceased associate. The sound of quickening footsteps soon follows, and 3 figures burst through a doorway to the far side of the room. I was looking a little off to the right, and I thought it said to the far right of the screen. I was like, what? Baloft. Shit, should I go alert the others? Yurik shakes his head, eyes fixed on the enemy. No time for that. We have no choice but to fight. Begin combat. Oh, there they are. Survey the battlefield using WSAD, mouse 3, and moving the mouse. Okay. Alright, yeah, that makes sense. On their turn, each character can move as many hexes as their movement stat allows. By moving on to a green hex, they can still perform an action afterward. Sprint. To cover more ground, they can sprint onto dashed gray hexes. Oh, I see. Alright, so green, gray. But doing so will end their turn. You can swap places with an ally by moving on to their location. Swapping is useful for setting up attacks or for getting an ally out of harm's way. Hold shift, you can draw a custom movement route. Ooh. To undo movement, click the undo button on the hotbar or press the assigned hotkey, E. If you take damage or trigger a stage hazard, you'll be unable to undo your movement. Let's move Stormcaller into cover by clicking left mouse button on the indicated hex. Okay, so there's cover behind rocks. If you don't have a desirable action to perform, you can delay a character's turn until the end of the round by hitting the wait button. Where's the wait button? Alternatively, you can end a character's turn by using the guard action, which provides a temporary bonus to defense and evasion. Click the wait button to delay Stormcaller's turn. Oh, I see. Wait, defense, or guard. Flee, use item, undo, move. Okay. Wait. Your character's abilities have a limited number of charges available, so it's important to plan wisely and use them effectively. Charges can be restored by camping, or by using certain provisions. Okay, so it's not per round, it's not per fight. It's per camp. With the enemy advancing on us, we can set up a trap using the Pyro Lancer's Return to Cinder ability on the indicated hex. Okay. Ouchies. Done goofed. Took 88 damage. As you can see, it's important to pay attention to any potential hazards when positioning your units. Maybe it was 33. Some abilities are able to push or pull targets. By forcing targets into obstacles and terrain, you can inflict bonus damage and other harmful effects. Move the Pugilist into position and use his Crescent Wave ability to push an enemy into the pit. Oh, okay, the pit here. Alright, so move here. And we gotta use Crescent Wave. Kick up the 3 adjacent targets in an arc, damaging and pushing them back. Bonk. Oh yeah, 62 and then 90. Pugilist, gotcha. He wants me to move them there. Every character on the battlefield exerts a zone of control on hexes adjacent to their position. A unit cannot leave this zone without suffering an attack of opportunity from their foe. This mechanic helps lock down enemies and prevent them from reaching your more vulnerable characters. Conserve stamina, keep him busy. Each character has a basic attack which has unlimited uses. While unique abilities are guaranteed to hit their target, basic attacks are subject to an accuracy and evasion check. Perform a basic attack on the enemy by clicking the left mouse button on the indicated hex. Okay. I am clicking left mouse button. I gotta use this, I guess. You have a clear view of that archer. Take him down. Most attacks and abilities are subject to a line of sight check. When targeting, a red eye indicates that there is no line of sight. I see. You can see the little red eye on top of them. While a yellow eye indicates partial line of sight. Yellow is over this guy. Large obstacles such as pillars can block your line of sight entirely. When a character has no vision of an enemy, they are unable to directly target them. Smaller obstacles such as a barrel, crate, or a crate, or a character will partially obscure lines of sight under the right circumstances. A target who is partially visible will receive 50% less damage from attack, so it's not a 50% chance, it's 50% less damage. By taking cover directly behind a small obstacle, you can overlook the obstacle to gain full vision on an enemy, while remaining only partially visible in return. Stormcaller's Conduit ability can devastate a single enemy from range, but takes a few turns to channel. You can see where a channel will finish by looking at the blue indicator arrow on the turn order. Select Conduit and target the enemy archer. Okay, so you can see it's between these two guys. So the enemy archer will go between now and then. With the nearest enemy stunned, the Pyro Lancer can safely move past their zone of control without incurring an attack of opportunity. Attacks of opportunity can also be avoided by using abilities that incorporate movement or by utilizing the swap action. Let's aid the Guardian and sprint to engage their target. Okay, so we sprinted end of the turn. They're going to take their turn? Yeah. They're going to take their turn, yeah. They're going to be stunned. Okay. I'm doing well. How are you doing? And finish that guy. Your pugilist has killed an enemy and gained morale. Morale is displayed by the white bar on each character's portrait. On the left there, okay. It represents their mood and attitude towards the current mission. Morale is gained and lost through various combat triggers. Landing a killing blow will increase morale, while suffering a critical strike from an enemy will lower it. A character with low morale will take longer to recover from a mission, and will lose loyalty towards the company. Loyalty is a measure of a character's feelings towards you and the company as a whole from 0 to 100. Loyal characters are easier to please and easier to retain through contract negotiation. Targets are considered flanked when you occupy two opposing hexes around their location. All attacks against flanked enemy targets deal extra damage and cannot miss. Let's move the Guardian to a flanking position to attack the enemy. Okay. So there's a lot of D&D and or Pathfinder inspired rules in this. Time to end this. Oh, their attack went off and killed the... Okay. Okay. One time elapsed. We gained scrap. Yurik sheaths his weapon, gazing around the room to make sure all are unharmed. Everyone all right then? Beethoff gestures at some blood on Yurik's arm. Never mind us, you've certainly looked better. Yurik glances down his injury and scoffs. What, this? He wipes at the blood, making a smeary mess of it. Nothing time won't heal. I'll be fine. You turn as a familiar voice rings out distantly behind you through the woods, though the words are unclear. Maybe I should be able to read. Is that you, Van? Van dashes up into the room and stops, kneeling over to catch his breath. He looks up with a relieved smile. Glad to see you're still with us. We heard the fighting. Figured you could handle it, but I didn't want to take the chance. And the others? Van points back in the direction he came from. Torin and the rest are still searching. Surely there are better places to stash supplies, but I suppose those smugglers had little choice. At least we're getting paid well to retrieve them. We've been in worse situations. Aye, that we have, boss. Was just hoping my last job would be free of surprises. Yurik, I can't fault you for wanting out, but I'd wish you'd... I beg you to reconsider. Van smiles faintly and places a firm hand on Yurik's shoulder. Life takes its toll, my friend. I've seen more death than any man should. His face goes dark for a brief moment, remembering all the friends you've lost. Your trusted advisor, Alaric, steps out from beside you with hands raised, bringing a halt to the conversation. Alaric, right now, there's plenty of time to talk later. It's going to take a while to scour this place, even with the others' help. Alright, Sleepy, have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. Van, right. I'd better get back to Torin and the rest before they find themselves lost. Yurik, watch your backs. There may be more of those thieves in here. Or worse yet. Vaughn looks over his shoulder, nodding in acknowledgement. Let's get moving. Most actions you take while exploring the dungeon will cost time. The passage of time can have harsh consequences and is represented by the time meter at the bottom right. We should begin exploring. Use left mouse button to move our party to an adjacent tile. Scouting. Scouting can be useful in order to spot enemies, traps, and other surprises that may await you. By scouting an enemy location, you can prevent them from being able to ambush you. It does cost extra time, however, so it should be used sparingly. Click the right mouse button over a tile to scout in that direction. Exploration events. When interacting with an exploration event, you'll often have multiple choices available to you, sometimes costing various amounts of time. Your character will have their own opinion on the choices you make, which can affect their overall loyalty to the company. Some actions require a stat check, and the character with the highest relevant attribute will be chosen for the task. The character in question will give you feedback to help you gauge your chances of success. If you have any tools with you, they can be consumed to boost the chances of a successful action, or perform a unique action that otherwise wouldn't be available to you. You spot a discarded pack up ahead, likely dropped in haste by the grave robbers, when you alerted them. Yurik. Don't expect to find much of value. It's not like they'll be coming back to claim it. Take what's useful for one time. Berta. Handshake up. Bayloft. Handshake down. Receives a small health potion, bandage, and tools. So what? One of them enjoyed that and one didn't? There's a fight here. Using provisions during exploration. Exploration. Provisions can be used in both in and out of combat. While exploring, you gain access to your provision inventory in the bottom left menu, or by pressing I. Like other actions, provisions used during exploration have their own associated time cost. Our Pyrolancer, Yurik, is hurting a bit after the last encounter. We should use a potion to restore his health. Okay. I mean, he does have the highest health of anybody, but okay. It costs one time. I won't let me put it on him. I can't do... What am I can't do anything. Alright, so there's a fight here. Deployment phase. During the deployment phase, you're able to reposition your party ahead of combat. Excuse me. A lot of talking. Click left mouse button on any character to move them, and click again on any valid hex to confirm their new position. Once you're satisfied with their formation, click start combat. Alright, so we're limited to what's in here. I kind of don't know 100% what their attributes are, so I don't know if I want to start doing stuff. I gotta remember there's a pit there. Oh shit, that's not what I meant to do. Fuck. Well, I guess we're just running in. Arc lightning on them. Why can't I do that? Do I need to be next to them? how they say I can make my own path. Yeah. Why did it hit him, though? Whatever. You can dispel conditions from your character with cleansing abilities by using an antidote item. Not all harmful items can be cleansed, however, such as injuries or the flank debuff. Yes. Nice. Enemy passives. Some enemies have passive abilities. These undead skeletons are able to reanimate after being defeated. To prevent them from reanimating, we'll need to target and destroy their pile of bones. Oh, very nice. No. 102 damage. Wow. It would be nice if you could use items while you're in there, you know? Oh, the white bar is in their health. It's the red bar. Okay. You signal a halt as a faint and distant rumbling becomes audible, steadily growing louder and louder. What's going on, Wazaga? And closer with each passing moment. You look up, noticing the cracks forming in the ceiling as small rocks break off and fall to the floor around you. Yurik bumps against you and tugs at your arm, urging you to run. It's a cave-in. We need to move. Breaking into a stride behind the rest of your party, you steal a glance back to see the corridor collapsing in a cascade of falling stone. You cross the threshold into another chamber, diving to the ground as the path behind you quickly closed off by the crumbling structure. A cloud of dirt and dust obscures your vision. But the rumbling and crashing comes to a halt as the last few pieces of debris can be heard tumbling into position. Yes, I beat the scroll game yesterday. We were actually fairly close to the end. Everybody okay? You look around as the dust settles. Aside from a few coughing fits, everyone seems to be unscathed. What the hell was that? An earthquake? Might have been. Or those grave robbers tried to force their way into someplace they shouldn't. Yurik inspects the caved-in passage, lightly kicking at some rubble in the ground. Regardless, we have to find another way out. What of the others and the supplies we're supposed to locate? Yurik places a reassuring hand on Berta's shoulder. Vaughn and them were on the other side of the crypt. I suspect they're fine, or at least I hope. Our priority is to find them. Hopefully they've already retrieved the supplies. We could do with a little luck. The way is completely blocked off. We need to look for another way. Okay. So the cave-in was there, I guess. Deadly contraptions. You've noticed that the traps here seem to be more sophisticated than most. Just to remind everybody to be careful. Traps deal triple damage. As you explore, the application of various time modifiers will present new challenges for you to overcome. With each time modifier ability applied, your party will slowly become unnerved and suffer a small loss to morale. Due to these factors, it's important to be efficient and spend your time wisely. You can see which modifiers are currently active next to the time meter at the bottom right. I thought it was pretty good, Wazaga. I kind of think that I'm trying to be a little bit meta here because I don't want to spoil anything. I thought it was cut a little strange, but after reading some stuff online, it makes sense how they cut it, just from relation to the past and the future. But also, again, I don't want to spoil anything, but based on the title of the next episode and a couple other factors, I don't think that's the last we've heard of anybody, you know? Alright, so let's... No! Why would you go... Oh, because I can't. So what am I supposed to do? That's blocked off, that's blocked off. I guess go back. No, what am I supposed to do? Let me just waste all my time here. Your path is blocked by a pile of rubble from the ancient cave-in, from the recent cave-in. Yurik steps forward and climbs atop to gauge the severity of the blockage. It's not so bad. I can see a clear path ahead. Just need to move enough of this rubble so we can squeeze through. He turns, looking down to address you. Any ideas? Move the rubble by hand. Blast a hole with magic. Hand Yurik a shovel. With an affirming nod, Yurik grasps the shovel and begins to dig, soon clearing a path just wide enough for everyone to fit through. Misplaced provisions. You're not sure when or how it happened, but you seem to have lost or misplaced a few items from your pack. You lost one tool. You think so? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Your party crawls through the gap in the rubble and comes out on the other side, sliding down the pile and back into solid ground. You see the flickering light of a torch being cast into the room from a connecting hall, illuminating more of your surroundings as it nears. Your party forms up, preparing for combat as the flames bear rounds the corner. Easy now, it's just me. I thought this whole damn place was going to come down on top of us. The structure groans and grumbles for a moment as he glances around with some concern. It might yet. Yurik motions back towards the collapse. Yurik, that whole section is caved in. We'll need to find a way out of here once we're done. I figured as much. Torn and the others are already set to finding one. I take it you haven't found the supplies yet either? Yurik slowly shakes his head. Unfortunately not. Let's hope they're not buried in stone. Regroup with Torin and secure an exit. Vaughn, we'll find you when the job's done. Sure thing, boss. He quickly scans your surroundings and leans in close, his expression turning deadly serious. There's something else. All that commotion has disturbed the dead within these walls. We've already put down a few of the bastards, but you best stay alert for more. Thanks for the warning. We'll tread carefully. Yeah. What's that, a rock? What happens if I kick him into a rock? Oh, he takes damage. Oh, shit. There was a dude in there. Yeah, except I didn't think about him taking all the damage. Damn. I can't see. I don't know why they don't have a... Oh, because they're not in range. Okay. I'm sorry, everybody. This is gonna suck. No, I'm not gonna do that. I can't do that. Oh, I should have hit wait. Get them burning here. Oh my god. He exploded. I don't want to walk through that fire. Oh, was that a run? What? A small health potion. Can we just use it right now? No. I did see. I never watched the Jackie Chan show that they were watching, but I did see that it was a Jackie Chan show. Yurik runs their hand along the wall of the interred dead, reading the inscription on each nameplate before moving to the next. He stops at one, peering closer and double-checking the name before turning with relief in his voice. This is the one we were told to look for, boss. About time. Let's hope the contents are still intact. Reaching with both arms into the dark recess, Yurik firmly grabs hold of a coffin, its ancient and rotting wood creaking in protest. He gingerly slides the coffin partway out and pushes the lid aside, rummaging around briefly before pulling out the stashed pack with care. Taking a peek inside to confirm the contents, he walks over to you and hands off the bag. It's all there, no damage to the vitals from what I can tell. What does our employer want with them anyway? Alaric interjects, eager to share his knowledge on the matter. This here is the cure for the blight, or at least it slows the process. The Vanguard keeps it tightly controlled though, only treating those who pledge themselves to the order. As such, it's highly sought after on the black market, and it's why our employer is paying so well. You were 13 when it was showing that show? At least our efforts haven't been wasted. Let's regroup with Vaughn and hope that they found an exit. Man, today, I was working in a different office, trying to get some stuff set up, and somebody bought that off as lunch, and so I was there, and they bought me lunch basically. And we got burritos from like a Tex-Mex place, and their reviews said that their chicken bacon ranch burrito was like one of their better ones. And so I tried it. And I'm not even joking you. When I got like a gigantic burrito, it was huge. It was huge. It was so big. It was really good, but it was really big. I like almost couldn't finish it. What's going on, Mac? How you doing, man? What is this? You hear a sudden movement in the darkness ahead, the sound of bones rattling and scraping along the floor. Bright green eyes turn towards you, and the undead being lets out a bone-chilling screech as it shuffles forward and into the light of your torches, moving faster than its size and awkward gait would suggest was possible. Oh, is this the boss fight? Prepare yourselves. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. Moron. Is it the boss I killed? Oh, I'm standing over a pit. That's not good. Oh my god, that thing can really smack. Oh, I didn't think about that. Shit. Oh, why did I attack him? I should have attacked him. No! We're almost dead. The character gains enough experience points to level up and receive attribute points and ability points. There are 6 attributes for you to put points into: physique, finesse, toughness, convictions, insights, and mind. Each one contributes differently to your character's combat statistics. Each class specializes in 2 attributes that increase their power. This is denoted by the bronze star next to their attribute. Ability points are used to upgrade or alter effects of a character's abilities. By leveling up, you'll be able to unlock new abilities for each character. Each class has 6 abilities to unlock, though they can only equip 4 at a time. You're not required to spend your points right away, and you can access the level up screen later on in the management menu. All abilities can be viewed, equipped, and upgraded by going into the abilities tab on the character sheet within the management menu. Alright. Health, defense, accuracy, critical chance, and evasion. Critical damage, health, and evasion. Sure. Beep. Defense and morale. Critical damage and perception. Critical chance and accuracy. Boop. Ability points available 2. Doesn't say how many. Oh. I see. So should I upgrade the ones I have? Kick up to 3 adjacent targets in an arc. Potency 1. Increase damage by 25. +1 movement for 1 round. Fist of Fury. Increase dash range by 1 cell. Cleave. Killing blows dealt on the first hit. Strike an adjacent enemy. Healing Trance. Channel for 5 turns and heal himself. Allies are healed 50%. Adjacent. Increases the pugilist's evasion, defense, and power by 50% for 3 turns. Strike an adjacent enemy and warp directly behind them for a second strike that pushes them away. Oh, it's the Omewan Shinderu attack. Gain 1 additional charge of this ability. How much does it cost to unlock it? Level up. Okay, you do it by leveling up. Increase damage. Okay, confirm. Bailoff, Insight, and Mind. Arc Lightning. A ball of lightning. Range or potency. Use the cast range. Conviction, defense and morale, critical chance and perception. Safeguard. Do an extra charge on that. Harrowing experience. Even the bravest soldier is not immune to traumatic events. It will take a while to forget this one. Increased post-mission fatigue. Oh, goody. I upgraded an extra charge of it, and it's an empty charge, not a full charge. Great. Wait, was that not a healing potion? Oh, for fuck's sake. Your party comes to a standstill as muffled shouts and ringing steel reverberates down the corridor towards you. Yurik unsheaths his lance, motioning to the rest of you forward as he breaks into his stride, barreling towards the sound of battle. That must be the others. Hurry. Your party comes to a standstill as muffled shouts and ringing steel reverberates down the corridor towards you. Yurik unsheaths his lance, motioning for the rest of you forward as he breaks into his stride. Oh, we already watched that. With the last of the undead dealt with, Vaughn hails you across the chamber with a flick of his hand, a relieved smile forming on his face as he strides closer to meet you. Did you find it then? The exit's just beyond here. Been trying to keep it clear of the dead, but they just keep coming. A pile of bones near Torin's feet suddenly begins to rattle, and the eyes of a skull reignite in a bright green and unseen forest. Attempts to reassemble the skeleton. Torin grunts and steps forward, crushing the skull beneath his heel and grinding it into a fine dust. He looks up with a satisfied grin. Took you long enough. Vaughn here is getting all worked up, thinking the worst. The crypt groans once more, the ground beneath you shaking ever so slightly. Alaric. I don't expect this structure will hold out much longer, sir. We'd best not linger. Yurik raises his torch high, inspecting the ceiling above as a small pebble breaks away from it. Good advice, I reckon. We got what we came for. Let's not tempt fate. Exit. Injury recovery. After a mission, you'll want to seek treatment for any injuries your party has incurred. While an injured character can still fight, injury penalties make them less effective. In order to fully recover, you must pay for their treatment at a city's infirmary. Some injuries require prompt treatment, otherwise they risk permanent damage or death. How do I... Okay, it's just giving me an overview. It doesn't actually let me heal. Loot found. 1 scrap. 25 gold. Okay. Provision refund. Gear breakdown. Okay. 99.5% explored. Oh, well, that other area got blocked off. How are we supposed to explore it? As the last light of the day begins to fade, you spot your company's camp not far ahead, the flickering flames of bonfires dancing against the darkened sky above the horizon. You stroll into camp, a celebration of Vaughn's retirement already well underway. After many hours of swapping stories and sharing drinks, all eyes fall on Vaughn as he steps around atop a nearby crate with a drink in hand, raising his voice to pierce through the ruckus. Now, you all know I'm not one for lengthy speeches, but I'd just like to say that it's been an honor to fight alongside each of you over the years. I dare say that I even consider some of you among my friends. He grins, met by a chorus of laughs and cheers. It hasn't been an easy road. I've been a fortunate man. Not everyone gets out of the mercenary life on their own terms. I hope you all one day get the same chance. He raises his cup in a toast. To you, my friends. There has never been a finer company. Hear, hear. The crowd responds with a burst of applause and cheers, enthusiastically raising their drinks and sending a shower of ale through the air. Your gaze is met by Vaughn as he points his cup towards you, and you nod your head in a friendly acknowledgement before turning about and striding off to find your tent. With the celebrations continuing in your absence, you brush aside the flap to your tent and settle inside, discarding your weaponry and tossing it near your bedroll. I don't know why I expected another P in weaponry. Weaponry. You turn to find Alaric in your presence, no doubt eager to discuss business. I hope I'm not disturbing you, sir. I was on my way to pay the horses a visit and prepare us for tomorrow's travel. He gestures to the pack slung around your shoulder, containing the contraband you recently retrieved. It's probably best if I store those vials in one of our carriages. You gently slide the pack off your shoulder and place it in his upturned hand. Well then, I'd best take care of this. He nods respectfully and turns, pushing aside the tent flap with an outstretched arm and briskly walking out into the night. You turn your attention to your desk, its surface covered with disorganized papers and maps, illuminated by the faint glow of a candle. Pushing up a stool, you sit down and begin to pour? Is that the right pour? Over one of the maps, charting out tomorrow's course. From outside, the sounds of laughter and poorly played music drifts into your tent. After some time, with these celebrations audibly winding down, you step outside your tent and into the cool evening air. Vaughn approaches your side, mounted atop a horse. Despite a smile on his face, there's a trace of sadness in his eyes. It's time then, eh? Aye. He leans down and pats the side of his horse. Got my saddle loaded up. I figured I'd sneak out without making a big fuss. He raises from his seat, dismounts, turning to face you with one hand extended. Just wanted to say thanks, boss, for everything. You return the gesture with a smile, gripping his hand and giving it a firm shake. Any chance I can convince you to stay? He steps back and chuckles. If you'd asked that last week, maybe, but this last job cleared any doubts I had. I survived this long. I reckon I'd be a fool to press my luck any further. To read or study. Oh, interesting. I always thought it meant like pour, like P-O-U-R, like, you know, you're pouring your attention into it, but I guess that's not it. Fair enough, friend. We'll always have a place for you if you change your mind. You hear a shout and turn to see Yurik stepping towards you, his young nephew in tow. Sorry to interrupt. He tilts his head, gesturing behind you. But Gedrick here wanted to see you off. Is that so? Vaughn smiles, stepping towards the boy and slapping a hand down on his shoulder. I know we haven't finished your training, but your uncle's more than capable of finishing the job. Oh, he doesn't have a face. You thought it was wrong and you checked it. Yeah, that makes sense. I know that. He steps up, conveying admiration. I'm gonna miss you, though. Aye. Vaughn grins, reaching out to tousle the boy's hair. And I you. I have half a mind to send him with you. Less danger on a farm, and gods know your old bones could use the help. Vaughn. Ha. There's a few good years in me yet, but you're both welcome to visit any time. He exhales deeply, stealing a glance towards the road. I'd best get going then. Take care of yourselves, would you? He nods farewell, turning towards his horse and hoisting himself into the saddle. Clicking his heels, the horse trots off, and you watch him disappear into the dark of night, illuminated only by the moonlight above. Clicking his heels? Underneath the horse? How is he clicking his heels together? He's clicking his heels against the horse's ribs. You and Yurik glance back at the sound of approaching footsteps to find Torin wedging himself between you two, his heavy hands firmly planted on each of your shoulders. Company won't be the same without him, I'm afraid. Indeed it won't. As Yurik and Torin take their leave, you look around the camp, surveying the aftermath of the festivities. Aside from a few inebriated men and women who remain slumped by the fires, it seems that most have turned in for the night. With days of travel yet ahead, you think it wise to follow suit. Continue. You bolt upright from your sleep, awakened by the blares of a horn from somewhere in your camp, an alarm being raised. The sound of a frenzied battle are all around you, and you scramble out of your bedroll, taking up a nearby sword. Alaric bursts into your tent, an orange globe briefly visible behind him, as the flap is flung aside. Sir, we're under attack. Winded, he takes a few deep breaths. There was no warning. The horses, the carriages. He raises his hands, trembling with frustration. Everything's been taken. We need to regroup with the others. Have you seen Yurik? Alaric wipes the sweat off his brow, shaking his head. Couldn't find him. With his nephew, I hope. You meet Alaric's eyes and nod in agreement. With a firm grip on your sword, you step past him, reaching your other hand towards the tent flap and preparing to step outside. You glance over your shoulder. Let's move. Stay close. You emerge from the tent, head on a swivel as you attempt to survey the situation. The camp is almost entirely ablaze, the heat and smoke stinging your eyes, obscuring your vision. You make your way ahead, your feet suddenly catching on something as you fall forward and scramble to stay upright. Recovering, you steal a glance backward at the obstruction. One of your companions, dead. An arrow flies by you, narrowly missing, but finding a target nonetheless. Alaric screams out in pain behind you, legs collapsing under him as he falls hard to the ground. You turn back, reaching out a hand to pull him up, but he waves you off. Leave me, I'll be no good in a fight. You follow his gaze down to his leg, a blood-covered arrow now stuck through it. Go. You turn and continue onward, staying low to the ground as you move, eyes scanning for any friendly faces through the smoke. Not 50 yards ahead, you spot 4 of your companions through the haze, huddled together with weapons drawn against an overwhelming number of assailants. Sucking air into your burning lungs, you urge your legs forward in a desperate attempt to reach them. A figure suddenly appears from the corner of your eye. With a flash of pain, the world goes dark. Uh-oh. Surrounded, Berta's head whips around, searching frantically for any possible escape from the raiders as the raiders edge closer. Beyond the ring of enemies, Torin and a few other familiar faces emerge from the darkness with bloodied weapons drawn, though they don't seem inclined to take any urgent use of them. What are you waiting for, Torin? Help us! The raiders eyed Torin as he confidently steps among them, each seemingly unconcerned by his presence, perhaps even emboldened by it. Oh. Sorry, friends. A twisted smirk forms in the corner of his mouth as he slides an arrow from his quiver. We'll make this quick. What a dick. Eri. Berta glanced at Torin with wild fury in their eyes, arms trembling as they level their weapons toward him. You damn traitors, have you no honor? Torin scoffs. Honor achieves little in this world. Glancing sideways at his accomplices, he raises a hand, signaling them to attack. I trust you lot can handle the rest. Spare no one. I don't want to separate the party, but the bow dudes are not who I want to get entangled with right now. I'm gonna get wrecked, but oh, they gotta be close by. Okay, well, perfect. Oh, what is that? I don't like that, dude. Oh, he's gonna attack his own person and me. Okay, that's less bad, but oh, because I left his area of fucking control. Shit. Fuck. I think I have a bedtime no matter what here. That's gonna hit my guy too? Shit. Bruised neck. Injuries can occur from critical hits or when a character is low on health. If a character sustains an injury, you can use a bandage to stabilize them and prevent their other injuries from worsening. Their injuries from worsening. If they continue fighting with an unstabilized injury, the severity of it can increase. When a character's health drops to 0 in combat, they will enter a bleed out state, and their health value will be replaced by a bleed out pool. This pool is persistent through the course of the dungeon. Their bleed out pool will drop by 1 on their turn, and from attacks suffered, permanent death will occur when the pool is depleted. To recover a character from the bleed out state, you can heal them with provisions such as a bandage or a health potion, or use a healing ability, or have an ally pick them up by moving onto their location. Well, I kind of have to do this. Oh yeah, you hit, I miss. Classic. I like how that's gonna hurt me too. Okay. You get an attack of opportunity if I do anything here. What? You're shitting me. Really? Wait, I healed him. Why didn't his pool go down? Or go away? I thought healing him would make his pool go away. So I have to heal him back to full? Five turns. I can't fucking wait 5 turns. Stop targeting him. For fuck's sake. On the item. I shouldn't have used that. Oh well. Why did he use this? Oh, quick draw slows him down. I see. Broken neck. 100% extra damage to all attack. Arm injury. Melee attack, 10% less damage. Great. Oh, boy. It is very unforgiving. Opening your eyes, you find yourself sprawled on the ground with a mouthful of dirt and a throbbing ache in your head. Despite the ringing in your ears, you can hear a muffled voice calling out. A hand grips your shoulder and you jerk at the touch, clawing at the ground and scrambling onto your feet. Easy now. You exhale with relief at the sight of Yurik leaning over you. The early morning light shining upon his blood-spattered face and garments. He straightens up and you grab hold of his extended arm, gripping tight as he pulls you upright. Regaining your senses, you look out at the smoking remains of the camp. Anything not taken by the raiders has been taken by the fires. Not much left, is there? The bastards took everything. He closes his eyes, lowering his head and sighing deeply. It was Torin, sir. He betrayed us. Torin, are you sure? Yurik nods. Wasn't alone either. Daemon, Inros, Nura. His fingers clench into a trembling fist. All fucking traitors. Through the anger, you notice a sadness in his eyes, and realize suddenly that his nephew isn't present. Where's Gedrick? Yurik glances down, slowly shaking his head. Don't know for certain, but I fear he's dead. He sighs. I was with him when the attack started, but we ran into trouble. Told the boy to run, but... He pauses, staring blankly into the distance as you place a comforting hand on his shoulder. Don't remember much else, I'm afraid. Woke up to Alaric dragging me out from under a pile of bodies. Alaric's still alive? Are there any others? Aye, he's alive. Managed to find a place to hide and patch himself up. I told him to stay off his feet. He snorts, waving a hand over the general area behind him. But he's out there, limping around, trying to salvage what he can. Thankfully, there's a few others too. Seems they managed to kill a whole group of the bastards. His brief smirk fades into a grim expression. I'm afraid that's all, though. You turn to see Alaric emerging from the half-burnt tent, limping your way, and being helped along by the other survivors of your company. A relieved smile forms on their face at the sight of you. Gods, we're glad to see you, sir. He glances at Yurik. Have you shared the news? I did. Alaric fumbles inside his coat, pulling out a few lightly scorched papers. I found some correspondence in one of their tents. They had been planning this for months, it seems. Flurick mutters under their breath. Traitorous bastards. Any idea who they're working with? I'm afraid not. Certainly more than just a ragtag group of thieves. They were too well armed and too well organized. Yurik scoffs with disgust, leaning over to spit on the ground. A group of cowards, I say. Easy to achieve victory when half our troops passed out drunk. No doubt Torn and them were counting on that fact. The spineless pricks. I never did like Torn none. Always felt uneasy around him. Alaric furrows his brow. A thought creeping into his mind. God, I'm failing to read. I can hardly stomach the notion, but could Vaughn have been involved? Yurik waves a dismissive hand. Not a chance. I know he and Torin got on well enough, but the man's as loyal as they come. I'm just glad he wasn't here for this. We've lost too much already. Regardless of who's involved, there's little we can do about it, at least for now. So what's our plan, boss? You know I'll follow you anywhere, but I promised my sister I'd look after Gedrick. If he's somehow alive, I need to find him, and if he's not, well... He pounds a fist into his other hand. Us putting those traitors into the ground will have to suffice. Alaric places a calming hand on Yurik's shoulder. The boss is right. We've little choice in the matter. I understand you want vengeance, so do I, but we haven't the manpower or the means to seek it right now, and doing so would only get us killed. If we're going to do this, we need to first restore our numbers, then, I promise, we'll hunt those traitors down. You look around at your companions, renewed purpose in each of their eyes as they all nod in agreement. Right, then we'd best travel light. It's a long walk to Andalon. It's like 2 squares away. Our caravan travels throughout the world. As our caravan travels throughout the world, time will progress. Supplies and general upkeep can be expensive, and every day that passes costs us coin. On the top right corner of the navigation controls, in the top right corner are the navigation controls, allowing you to advance the next day, stop traveling, or adjust the speed of the caravan. Given the situation, we can't afford a long journey. We should make our way to the city of Andalon and rest and regroup. Balolf Tallwater needs to immediately seek treatment for their critical injuries. If you don't treat these injuries, they will get worse. Some injuries can lead to death if left untreated. Broken neck, 30 days. Let's get some treatment immediately. Okay, well, let's go to Andalon then. Wait, is it faster to go on the road? Excuse me, 11 days. Oh my god, can you... Yeah, you can there's a whole bunch of lore. You don't really go that much faster on the road. Enter city. After many long days on the road, you and your companions breathe a collective sigh of relief upon entering the city limits of Andalon. The streets are bustling with traffic, and though it does seem to be business as usual, you can't help but sense an uneasiness amongst the people. Yurik seems to pick up on it as well, and with narrowed eyes, he looks up to the sky. The days are growing darker, that's for sure. He gestures to the crowds. No doubt they're all concerned about the Scourge. I can't say I blame him. On the bright side, there will be no shortage of work available to us, but now, he winces, glimpsing at his injured leg. We could all do with a few days' rest. Alaric begins to shuffle forward, gesturing ahead with a nod. I believe the inn is this way. Wowee. With the morning sun shining into your room at the inn, you rise from your bed, pleased to find your body finally free of its many aches. Gathering your belongings, you walk down the creaking stairs to the ground floor, spotting your companions already seated at the table and breaking their fast. Morning, sir. You're looking a sight better, huh? Come. He gestures to the seat beside him with one hand, taking up a spoonful of porridge with the other. Sit, eat. Across the table, Alaric tears off a piece of bread and hands it to you. We were just discussing our next... Alaric trails off as a man approaches the table, your previous employer, Kaldwin, sporting a puzzled look upon his face. I must say, I'm surprised to see you here. I heard about the battle. Heard you were dead, in fact. He slides into the seat opposite of you, spreading his arm wide. arms wide. Yet, here you are. Heard it from who? Your associate. He looks up, trying to recall the name. Torin. That was it. Tall bastard he was. Said your entire company was killed in an ambush, and that he was lucky to be alive. Anyway, he brought me the vials, so we concluded our business, and he went on his way. You just believed his story? Truth be told, no. I could tell he was hiding something, but I wasn't about to refuse the man. I suspect he could rip me apart with his bare hands, were he so inclined. Was there anyone else with him? Oh, was there anyone else with him? A boy of 15 years? The man scratches his chin. He had a few companions from what I saw, none that young, however. Any idea where they were headed? I don't know that either, I'm afraid, but it seemed they were each going their separate ways. Alaric raises an eye at that piece of information. Retiring, perhaps? They certainly can afford it, having stolen everything from us. So they betrayed you and stole your fortune, did they? I'm sorry for that, but perhaps we can help each other out. You have a job for us? More of an arrangement. Kaldwin leans in closer, placing an elbow on the table. I've been looking to expand my business across Calum, but the roads are a dangerous place, as you well know, and I'm in need of a permanent guard. In return, I would offer you a discount on all my wares, potions, elixirs, and the like. I'm sure they'd be of great use to you in your line of work. To be clear, I would not interfere with the operation of your company, of that you can be sure. In fact, I care not where we travel, just as long as there are buyers for me to sell to. He leans back, spreading his hands across the table. So, what do you think? I don't have an option. Sounds like a fair proposal. I accept your offer. Kaldwin smacks his hand down on the table. Excellent. Then consider me at your service, my friends. As long as I said, where we go is entirely up to you. Alaric lifts his hand, a single finger raised. There will be one problem, however. We simply cannot afford to travel anywhere at the moment. Not to mention, we are without carriages and horses. Kaldwin, you certainly had a rough go of it, huh? He waves a hand. No matter, I can supply both horses and carriages. As for funds, I hear the local vanguard have their hands full at the moment. I suspect you might find some work with them. He leans close, lowering his voice. Just don't mention my other activities. They would be none too pleased to learn of the vials in my possession. Thanks for the tip. We'll go see them. Kaldwin raises from his seat, straightening out his tunic. I have preparations to make then. He looks at each of you, nodding farewell. I will await you at the gates. Taking a bite from your bread, you look on as Kaldwin strides out of the inn. Alaric turns back towards you, fingers rubbing at his chin. You know, sir, I was thinking it might be wise to retire the company name. So long as those traitors think us dead, we'll have an easier time rebuilding our numbers. And when we're ready to strike back against them, it will be us with the upper hand. Yurik grunts in approval as he swallows the last of his drink. He's right, I reckon. Best not draw any attention on ourselves, if we can help it. Any ideas for a name, boss? Guillaume's always had a nice ring for it, I thought. Guillaume's, eh? He pauses, flashing a toothy grin. Aye, I believe that will suit us well. I see you know your judo well. When visiting a city, you can view available contracts by clicking one of the contract banners at the top of the screen. The icon on the banner tells you which faction is offering the contract, and completing it will increase your reputation with them. We're hardly in the position to be picky right now. I say we take whatever job the Vanguard have to offer to us. Boy. This is a lot of reading. And I feel like I have to sneeze. Hang on. It's trying. There we go. Sneeze, yes. Get your summer reading homework in gear so I can have a free pizza for the school year. We never did free pizza. It was do this or you fail. Our library had a summer reading program that they had a bin, and in it was like little toys, like, you know, Like the stupid straws with a basket on it and a ball, and you blow into it and the ball hovers, or the stupid little things that you spin and there's a propellers and it flies away, or sometimes they're little pieces of candy. Free Pizza Hut? No, he didn't have free Pizza Hut, dude. I wish. Not that Pizza Hut is the best, but free pizza is free pizza, you know? These interaction reminder things get weird, so I know you guys are smart people. You do what you want. I'll catch you later.